When I was a boy, sweet things were rare. Not because we were poor, not because life was hard, but because nature doesn't give you sweet things every day. A handful of wild berries in the summer, some honey if you were lucky enough to find the hive and brave enough to reach inside, a piece of fruit when the season was right. That was it. Sweet was a gift. Sweet was something you remembered. Sweet meant something. Now I walk through any store in this country and every single aisle is sweet. The bread is sweet. The crackers are sweet. The things that are supposed to be salty are sweet underneath the salt. And the drinks, Lord, the drinks. You could pour one of those bottles into a river and the fish would be confused for a week. We did not grow up eating like this. None of us did. And our bodies, the same bodies we are still living in right now, they were never built for it. Today I want to talk to you about something called fructose. It is a kind of sugar, but it is not like other sugars. And once you understand what it does inside you, quietly, slowly, over years, you will never look at a bottle of juice or a low-fat snack the same way again. Sit with me. This is important. Every elder I knew growing up paid attention to what they put in their body, not because they read books about it, not because someone told them to, but because they listened. They noticed how they felt after eating certain things. They paid attention to what the land gave them naturally versus what felt wrong, out of place, unnatural. That attention is its own kind of wisdom, and it's the same attention I'm asking you to bring here today. So let's start at the beginning. Your body runs on energy. The main fuel it uses is a simple sugar called glucose. Every cell in your body, your muscles, your brain, your heart, knows how to use glucose. When you eat bread or rice or a potato, your body breaks it down into glucose, sends it into the blood, and your cells drink it up like water. Your pancreas releases a little insulin to help move it around. The system works. It has worked for hundreds of thousands of years. Fructose is different. Fructose is also a sugar. It tastes sweeter than glucose, and it is found naturally in fruit, which is where it gets its name. In fruit, fructose comes packaged with fiber, water, vitamins, and everything else the fruit contains. Your body processes it slowly because of all that fiber. No rush, no flood, just a gentle trickle. But here is where things went wrong. Sometime in the middle of the last century, food companies learned how to pull fructose out of corn and concentrate it into a thick syrup. High fructose corn syrup, they called it. And they started putting it in everything. Sodas, ketchup, salad dressing, yogurt, bread, baby food, energy bars, things you would never expect. The amount of fructose the average American now eats in a single day is more than people used to eat in an entire month, maybe longer. We went from a trickle to a flood, and our bodies were not ready. Here is why that matters so much. When fructose gets into your body, it does not go where glucose goes. It does not feed your muscles. It does not fuel your brain. It goes almost entirely to your liver. Your liver is the only organ in your body that can process fructose in large amounts. And your liver, when it gets more fructose than it knows what to do with, starts turning it into fat. That fat doesn't just disappear. Some of it builds up inside the liver itself. This is how something called fatty liver disease develops. And doctors are now seeing it in people who have never touched alcohol in their lives. The liver gets congested, sluggish. It stops doing its job as well as it should. Some of that fat gets sent out into the blood as triglycerides. High triglycerides are one of the strongest warning signs for heart disease. And not just heart disease. High triglycerides are tied to inflammation throughout the whole body, in the joints, in the arteries, in the brain. And here's the part that I find most troubling of all. Fructose does not trigger the signal that tells you you are full. Glucose, when it enters your blood, causes your body to release insulin, and insulin sends a message to your brain, enough, you've had enough, stop eating. But fructose skips that whole system. You can drink a large soda, which might contain 40 or 50 grams of fructose, and your brain receives almost no signal that you just consumed anything at all. You are still hungry. So you eat more, and the cycle continues. The food companies knew this. Some of their own scientists told them, and they kept putting it in everything anyway, because a product that never quite satisfies you is a product you keep buying. I am not a man who gets angry easily. My grandfather taught me that anger without action is just heat. It burns you more than anyone else. So I don't say this to make you angry. I say this so you understand what you are up against, and so you can make a different choice. Now, some people hear all this and they say, well, what about fruit? Fruit has fructose. Should I stop eating fruit? And this is where I want you to listen carefully, because this is the part most people get confused about. Fruit is not the problem. When you eat an apple, you are eating maybe 15 grams of fructose, but you are also eating 4 or 5 grams of fiber. That fiber slows everything down. It acts like a gate that controls how fast the fructose reaches your liver. The liver gets a slow, manageable trickle, not a flood. It handles it, no problem. But when you drink a large soda or a bottle of fruit juice, even the ones that say 100% natural on the label, there is no fiber, nothing slowing it down. It all hits your liver at once, fast and hard, and your liver cannot keep up. That is when the damage begins. Eat the fruit. Eat the whole fruit. Skip the juice. That is the simple version of what science has been trying to say for 20 years, dressed up in complicated language that most people never bother to read. There is also the question of what fructose does over time to your insulin sensitivity. When your liver is constantly overwhelmed, it starts sending distress signals. The cells in your body start ignoring insulin the way a person ignores a fire alarm that goes off too many times. This is called insulin resistance, and it is the foundation beneath type 2 diabetes, weight gain that won't respond to diet, chronic fatigue, and a long list of other conditions that are now so common we have started treating them as normal. They are not normal. They are new. They are the result of a food supply that was changed faster than our bodies could adapt. My grandmother used to say that the land always tells you what it is willing to give. You don't take more than what is offered in season. You don't force the harvest. You work with what is there. We stopped living that way. We started demanding sweetness all year long, sweetness at every meal, sweetness between meals. And the land and our bodies are showing us what that cost looks like. This is not about shame. I want to be clear about that. We ate what we were given. We trusted the people who made our food. We believed the labels that said natural and healthy and low fat. Many of those labels were designed to hide the one ingredient that was causing the most harm. You were not careless. You were misled. But now you know. And knowing is the beginning of the only kind of change that lasts. So what do? You start reading, not the front of the package where the marketing lives, the back, the ingredient list. If you see high fructose corn syrup, that is an easy one to spot. But it also hides under other names. corn syrup, corn syrup solids, fructose, crystalline fructose, fruit juice concentrate. They are all the same thing wearing different clothes. You drink water, plain water, not flavored water with sweeteners, not sports drinks, not juice, water. The way people drank for thousands of years before someone decided water needed to taste like strawberries. You eat the whole version of things. A whole orange instead of orange juice. An apple instead of apple sauce with added sugar. The closer a food is to how it grew, the safer it usually is. And you be patient with yourself. These things are designed to be hard to give up. Fructose affects the same reward pathways in your brain that other addictive substances affect. When you cut back, you may feel the pull of it. That is real. That is not weakness. That is biology. Give it 2 or 3 weeks and the pull gets quieter. It does. I have lived long enough to watch this country get sicker in ways that should not make sense. We have more medicine than ever before, more hospitals, more treatments, and more chronic disease than at any point in history. Something is wrong at the root, not the branches, the root. The root is what we are eating, and at the center of that root is a substance that is in almost everything, that our bodies were never designed to handle in these amounts, and that most people have never even thought to question, because it is so ordinary now that it has become invisible. See it, name it, and then, slowly, in your own time, in your own way, begin to move away from it. The river does not change its course in a single day, but over time, water shapes stone. You can do this, one meal at a time, one choice at a time. That is how it was always done. That is still how it is done.